Welcome to Strength Series with Jay. This show is about one thing, getting you strong. So join me as I lead you through 12 progressive workouts that will have you overcoming the impossible in no time. Welcome back to Strength Series with Jay. Today I'm going to take you through a circuit, and what we're planning on doing is building the structure for future workouts. So think of it as strengthening all your muscles, ligaments, and tendons, so when you get to these harder, more intense workouts, you're able to handle those loads. We're also going to work on balancing left and right sides, as well as front and back. So we'll get started right away. I have Sarah here as my model. We're going to start with one exercise of 5, and when you're doing this at home, you're just going to carry on from one through to the other 4 times. So first, we're going to start with Ringrose, and the important thing with all these is that everything is a very slow and controlled negative. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So you're going to start 2 arms on the rings, decide which arm is going to work. So let's go with this one the other way around. And then come right up to the ring and set your position. So she's going to pinch her shoulder blades tight, she's going to keep them low, and then she's going to let go of the other arm. And from here, she's going to slowly, over 4 seconds, lower herself till her arm is straight. So we'll go 4, 3, 2, 1, grab with both arms again, and come back up. So let's try that again, and we're going to lower till this arm is perfectly straight. So when you come up with 2, you get to reestablish that position, slow, grab with both, come back up. So you can see we're putting stress just in one side, so when we do things like chin-ups or ring rows, both sides are as even as possible, strength-wise. And a few things to note here is you don't want to just hang on this shoulder. So even though she allows her shoulder blade to rotate forward or protract, she's not just depending on the structure and hanging on it. So she's controlling that motion, grab with both, get back into a really good position, nice and tight, and then slowly lowering again. And try one more, and we'll just call it 8. So up with 2, stay right tight, let go of the other one completely, and slowly lower yourself. Good. We'll do a quick demo on the other side. So you lock off tight again, and your goal is to really keep the working arm under tension the whole time. So it's slow, it's controlled, you know exactly what's going on, and then things will be balanced later. So we'll do 2 more, and then we'll call it 8. And let's actually just go 1 more. So one thing you're going to notice is right at the top, if you let go of your other hand and you keep that like tight to you, there's not too much load here where there's going to be a lot at the bottom. So what I tend to do is push my feet through the ground and lean against the ring. So right now she's already got load. Then slowly control your way down, and as you get lower, you will not have to push your feet as hard into the ground. Good. Other hand back up. Nice. So we're going to keep this same position, ring in hand, and we're going to do a single leg squat. With all the future workouts, there's a lot of squatting and deadlifting, or at least similar patterns. So structurally, you want to be the same left leg to right leg. So let's go right leg down. You're going to get your left leg back behind you. And the goal is to not use this leg as much as possible. So for Sarah, we're going to actually keep her hovering off the ground. You're going to keep, again, this knee tracking about your pinky toe, and you're going to keep this shin as vertical as possible. So let's sit back into that hip and pause for a second. So you want this to be vertical like that. Dig in through that heel, come back up. And again, we're going to go slowly down. Think like 3 to 5 seconds to go down. And the reason why you have the ring is because we want to take all the stability out of it. So you shouldn't feel too off balance. You can grab a post or a pole. You can use that for balance, but really the goal is just to work on the structure, so you shouldn't feel shaky. You also want to feel even foot pressure throughout. So let's just do a bad one. And when you come up, we're going to come up onto your toe a bit. So there might be a tendency to kick the ground, have your heel come off the ground to come up. So you want to keep everything firmly planted and dig that heel again. So let's go 1 more. This leg bone sitting way back into your hip, as little use of your hands as possible. Good, let's try the other side. So So we start off going slow. Yeah, that's perfect, like that. Go 2 more and we'll call that 8 as well. Good. All right, perfect. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is a push-up. So rings will be right here. You're gonna set up for a push-up facing the camera. And for this, we're gonna go palms facing each other. The number one thing with the push-up, in fact, all exercises, is that you're just controlling this straight spine through space. So make sure there's no sag here. You wanna tighten up your belly, tighten up your glutes, and over 4 seconds again, or 3 to 5 seconds, she's gonna slowly lower herself into a push-up. So this is set up maybe a bit high for you. Let's come up, and then let's get this down a bit. So the beautiful thing with the rings is that you can go up or down millimeters at a time and find out what level is right for you. Sarah's actually pretty strong, so to be up high is kind of awkward for her. Okay, let's set up again. Okay, so form that plank, perfect. Glutes belly tight, and you're gonna pull those rings in tight to your rib cage. Exhale, push hard through the rings to come up. Nice, so let's just keep that head straight. Shoulder blades pinch tight together, push through again. Good, and you can walk it out and make it just a little easier on you. So we'll go down over 3 to 5 seconds, push through the rings, and you only need to go rings to about biceps. So we'll go again, and as soon as you get to about that point, you're gonna push through. So the goal is to take your shoulder blades through their full range of motion. So if you've gotten as much motion as you're gonna get out of them, we're not gonna roll forward into the rest of the push-up. You're just gonna push off from that point. And the 2 things to look out for are, as you come down, there's no sagging belly and also no forward reaching head. So you're nice and long and straight and just moving through that shoulder blade along your rib cage. Let's go 1 more, that's probably 8. Good, nice. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is a single leg deadlift. The weight is optional. Let's go with a light weight. So you're gonna hold this the same way you did for the single leg squat. Let's go left, and I'll put that into your right arm. Okay, so we're gonna give Sarah just a little bit of load here. That left leg is gonna stay in the ground. This ring or this post is just for support because you don't want to be off balance just yet. That'll come later. And what she's going to do is just get her leg bone way back into her hip socket, feel a stretch through her glute and hamstring, and then come back up. And so we'll do it again. It's that same tempo. It's slowly on the way down. Make sure belly's tight. You can go just a little bit bent and repeat. There'll be a tendency to want to reach for the ground with this kettlebell, but you're gonna fight it by staying sucked into your socket. So pull that back in. Yeah, like that, exactly. So the only movement is really coming from that left hip. Hold there, tighten up your hamstring, dig your heel in, and pull yourself back up. Good, those are very good reps. So let's go other side. I like to limit myself to the range of the leg that's got the least amount. So let's say she only feels like she can get to here on this leg. We'll only get to there on both legs. So slowly sits in there. You want to feel like this leg bone is way back into that hip. And let's just do 1 more and hold. Good, and so if I take her pelvis and just tilt it that way a little bit, it should feel like she's loaded in that hip. Use that hip to come back up, and let's do 1 more for good luck. Good, let go of that. So 2 things to look out for here. Just set up, we'll do a body weight one really quick. So if you're coming back into the single leg deadlift, we'll go right leg down. If you're not mobile through here, and if you remember in the warm-up, we tried to get you some mobility through here, you're gonna look for a workaround. So that's gonna be either sagging through here, or tilting this whole pelvis up towards me. So that would look like that. So you feel like you're getting further. But the goal is to really open up that hip and use that to come up. So just look out that you're not sagging or twisting. Okay, that's good. So we got one more exercise. It's called a suitcase carry. It's very straightforward. So I'm gonna give Sarah this kettlebell. And first I want you to feel like you're in a plank. So you're gonna tighten up, make sure your rib cage is down, everything is straight, you've got a tight grip, and you've got really good posture. So we're just gonna walk with this kettlebell, but what I want you to think of is think that you're doing a side plank on this opposite side. So this kettlebell is trying to pull you this way. The tendency is gonna wanna be to slinky away from it, but I want you to get up nice and straight, stay square, and feel like, again, this side of you is short and tight, and you're in a side plank. So from there, you're just gonna do a very unflattering walk where you stay square, marching, and we're gonna do that for 30 seconds. So everything is for 8 reps. This is the only exception. We're gonna do 30 seconds per side. That's good, we can come back. So we're gonna pretend that took 30 seconds. You're gonna switch sides and then do the same thing. So it's good to do this one in the mirror because you will be able to see if you're actually just slinking away from the kettlebell, but you want to square up, almost feel like you're leaning towards it a bit. You should feel this whole side of you turn on, and then we'll do that same walk. Good. That's good. And always gripping hard, staying tall. Nice. That's good. Okay, so when you're doing this workout, everything's for 8 reps. You're really taking your time to come down, and then you're gonna pretty much flow from one exercise through to the other. You can take up to 30 seconds break if you need to. I would say a minimum of 4 times. If you feel like the next day you're not very sore, then you can up it to 5 or maybe even 6 before you carry on to the future workouts. So that's it for this episode of Strength Series, and thanks for watching.